to be very informal. I don't know if I'm going to leave it up, but I know that I process very, very well through talking out loud. And there are a couple things that I want to process in the homemaking space. I'm just going to lift this just a little higher. It's a couple of things I want to process in the homemaking space, and in me wanting to process them, I just decided if I go live, then it'll be a way for me to kind of like think through my ideas. So if you would have seen, it may have been my last YouTube video that I posted, but in the video I posted, and we have our little assistant here with us today, and she is a yapper, and I love it. But in my last YouTube video that I posted, I talked about oh, no, I remember privacy. Okay. In my last YouTube video, I talked about wanting to become, or in my last couple of YouTube videos, wanting to become the best homemaker in all the land. And in one of my last videos, I talked about how, I don't know if that's annoying or not for you guys. Hopefully it's not. But I talked about how one of the things that I'm doing to become the best homemaker in all the land is we might not be able we might not be able to do it. We'll see. But one of the things that I'm doing to do that is I'm reading a lot. I'm applying a lot of the stuff that I learned over the last 3 years when I was working on homemaking stuff, and I'm implementing a lot of those things. And so in my video, I talked about how there are 8 core homemaking principles, if you will. And over the last quarter, I've really been chewing on those 8 core homemaking principles. And I just realized for me, that is too many. And it's just not the way that my brain works. And a lot of those principles, hey, Michelle, hey, Bunny Banks, a lot of those principles come from families that are running a household where they have like 4 or more children. And so those 8 principles work. It works to divide those 8 principles in that way because they're trying to manage a home where they have 4 kids and a husband, so like 6 people total. And I'm not trying to manage all that. I have a very little family, and figuring out how to manage that meant reducing some of these buckets that they were breaking things in. And like a really good example is for most of the homemaking content, homemaker, home economics, housewife, stay-at-home mom content that I've seen, there is such an emphasis on laundry, and like laundry being the drudgery of the day, or laundry being the most difficult component to like get in front of. And so there's all this like system and strategy around laundry. And that's not really an issue for me. 1, because I love laundry, and 2, because we don't have a lot of laundry, because again, I'm managing a home with 3 humans as opposed to a home with 6 humans. I would imagine if I had 4 kids and a husband and myself and I was doing laundry, that I would need to carve that out into a separate area. But it's just not a separate area for me. So I say that to say, as I've been like working through those 8 principles, I reorganize them in a way that makes sense for my brain. And today what I want to do is work on meal planning, because I want to try to make some of the principles that I've been collecting data on over the last 3 months make a little bit more sense. But to do that, I just need to talk out loud. Even if nobody's responding, it's just helpful for me to talk out loud. So I have changed my homemaking core foundations from those 8 to these 4, and it's an alliteration, which helps me out 1,000%. It helps me out 1,000%. So the 4 core foundations of, and I'll probably just call it a happy homemaker, maybe a happy homemaker and an intentional homemaker, one of those. But the 4 core are family, function, food, and finance. And what I found is that if I think about family, function, food, and finance, all the other categories fit in under one of those categories, and it's easier for me to think about it in the 4, because then I can also just make, like, I don't know if you guys can see that, I can just make the little cross T in like for a visual, and I can think about, okay, which one am I really focusing on? And so for quarter 1, I was really focused on the food foundation. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I was really focused on the food foundation. And then here in quarter 2, there's going to be more emphasis on the function foundation. And I'm working on all of them, but it's just where is my focus kind of going. So let me see. Michelle said, laugh out loud, I don't mind laundry, but my dad helps me. We went to the laundromat today, so we just get it all done in once. Yeah, we go on Mondays with the communal washer downstairs. Yeah, like I actually just really enjoy laundry, like in general, like the whole, like separating clothes, putting them in the washing machine, taking them, putting them in the dryer, folding them, like the whole laundry process. I'm here for it. Whereas like dishes, that is my least favorite chore in all the land. Like I dislike doing dishes. Even with the dishwasher, I dislike doing dishes. But like setting out a whole separate system for laundry, maybe because I read the book Laundry Love, or maybe because laundry has always been very intuitive and fun for me, because I like clothes. It's not something that I find drudgery in or challenge or difficulty in. I think she's probably gonna do that the whole. She's also into screaming. That is new. That is a new thing where she's like screaming with her new voice. We go to the laundromat, so we don't have to use the ones here. Yeah, and I would go to the laundromat because I do like just going and sitting in and smelling the laundry and being there. But just in terms of physicality and moving things around, it's just easier to go up and down and do it. Yeah, Asia said, yeah, I can't stand doing dishes. Me either. And it sucks because I love cooking. But S and I actually just switched our household duties, which I guess I can talk about that a little bit. But we just switched our household duties. And it's been about 2 weeks, I think. And it has been a game changer. Just switching him out to dishes, it has been a game changer. Like the peace and the ease that I feel with him doing the dishes, and like just it feels incredible. It feels, because I'm cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I like it. And the reason he wasn't doing it before is because as I'm transitioning into housewife, stay-at-home mom, like it has always been my dream to fully manage and do every single thing in the home. Like when I say I want to do everything, I kind of was at a place where it's just like I don't even want him to lift a finger in the home because this is my territory. And there's an element of that that's wonderful and it's beautiful and it's super fantastic and amazing. But then there's an element of that that's just unrealistic given the season that we're in, because I'm very newly postpartum. And that needs to be taken into consideration in terms of my physicality, how long I can be on my feet, whether or not I should be on my feet. I'm nursing every 2 to 3 hours, so my energy levels, etc. So it's just unrealistic for me to think that I'm going to take on all the domestic labor, even if that was a desire. It's just not healthy, and it's very unrealistic. And so when we decided to switch things out as like a choice, as opposed to a, can you pick this up here and there for me, and switch everything out to him doing the dishes after each meal, such a game changer. Like it makes it like I want to get in the kitchen and cook even more, because I know that I don't have to do those dishes. And I'll do the dishes every now and again, especially if I'm baking and I'm just in there playing around. I'll do the dishes. But if I'm like preparing food for the family, like I know that I can just leave them in there and he's gonna take care of them, and it's the most incredible feeling in all the land. Because I just don't like it. I don't like doing the dishes. They sort of have free Wi-Fi, but can't get them to work. Yeah, ours has, a lot of the laundromats that I went to here in the city had a free Wi-Fi setup. Me too, I love cooking and baking, but dishes, absolutely not. Yeah, there has to be a way. And I understand, like, if you have a dishwasher, you could just put it in the dishwasher, but maybe because of the way I grew up, I just never really feel like the dishwasher got everything as clean as like washing it by hand. I need to get over that, because our next home is going to have a dishwasher, so that I can take that labor off of him, and also potentially get more into it myself. So that said, thank you, little lady. That said, what I wanted to talk about today is meal planning, because now that I'm meal planning and meal prepping and grocery shopping for more than myself, it is a little bit different, because I do want to take everybody's palate into consideration, and I need to take specific nutritional needs into consideration in terms of making sure that I'm getting everything that I need, because I am breastfeeding. So I kind of just wanted to talk through how I'm thinking through it, so that I can see if there's something that I'm missing. If there's something that you all hear, let me know. If not, you guys can just kind of listen. This is very informal. This is just, I process very well through talking out loud. So again, as I mentioned before, under the 4 core foundations, this goes under food. And under the food foundation, and I think that this is something that people don't realize when they're trying to be a homemaker, or when they are trying to be a stay-at-home mom or be a wife, or even when they're just trying to take care of themselves, like they wonder why there's so much stress or overwhelm, or just things don't feel as easeful. It's because the food category has different elements underneath it. I think she's literally gonna talk this whole time. I think that she will. And I think the screaming will persist. So we'll see how long we can stay on here. But okay, so under the food category, there's obviously cooking, which I think is the one that most people think about, I think, is the cooking one. But there's cooking, and then there's baking if you bake. There is meal planning. There's meal prepping, which is different than meal planning. There is nutrition. There is nutrition, which is different than just grocery shopping. And then there is grocery shopping. And I think a lot of times when people think about food, they're just like, oh, I just need to get some groceries and put them in the refrigerator. It's like, no, the food process in terms of making a home is quite involved. Let me see if she wants to eat a little bit, guys. Hold on. Let's see. Let us see if you want to eat a touch. Yeah. Oops. Hopefully. Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know if you saw that or not. I feel like this sweater is very thick. Do I have anything thinner around here? Oh, somebody was very tired. Let's see. Hi, Stacey. I just wanted to say congratulations on your new addition to the family. You have a new light and glow to you now. Just radiates from you. I love this for you. Thank you so much. I'm living the dream. I'm having the time of my life. And also, it is a time. It is a time. Like, it is very much a significant transition, much more intense than what I thought it was going to be. And I think because I have a son, I just thought that the transition was going to be like, oh, I'm just transitioning. And it's very different this time around than it was with my son. I think with my son, I had youthful ignorance and naivety. And something that I recently learned with my friends is that my collegiate experience they wrapped a bow around the mothering experience for me. There was a lot that I didn't have to think about because I went to a college where moms got to live on campus with their children. And so a lot of the activities and milestones and things like that, they literally were like, hey, this is what's coming up next. This is what's coming up next, versus this being a fully grown functioning adult. Being a mom, very, very different, very, very different in a good way and sometimes in an intense way. So I'm glad you can see the light. Hi, Lizette. How are you? Hey, Stacey. Miss you. I think often about the insights I learned in group coaching program last year. Congratulations. Loving the podcast episodes. Thank you. Yes, I'm trying to get those up at least one a month because it helps me to be able to, again, talk out loud. And I do still want to serve the community in some capacity. My sister has breastfeeding shirts like those. You good? We didn't see anything. Okay, good. That is the hope. Okay. So as I was saying, under the food category, I think people get overwhelmed with the food in terms of homemaking or even just caring for yourself, because it's more than just cooking and it's more than just grocery shopping. And so the focus over the last quarter was really on the food category and really trying to figure out what are S's foods, what are my foods, what do I need to eat for me, like taste, but what do I also need to eat for me nutritionally? And so as I'm meal planning, there are 2 different meal plans. Well, actually, there are 3. There are 3 different meal plans that I was kind of studying during that time. There was one meal plan where she meal plans once a quarter, and every quarter there's a different style of meal plan. What I like about that is she incorporates seasonal planning, and she kind of basically has I would say 10 to 10, let's go with 10. She has like 10 meals that she just rotates over the 3 months. In some kind of way, her family never gets bored with it. So it was fascinating to me, but it didn't necessarily, again, she is a family. I think she had 6 kids, maybe. So that didn't work for me. Like the philosophy of meal planning for a quarter, I'm like, oh, wow, that is phenomenal. I want to figure out how to adopt that. But only eating the 10 or so meals, like 10 breakfasts, 10 lunches, 10 dinners, and then like rotating outside, I don't need to be that stringent because it's just the three of us. So I like the quarter system and I'm going to adopt something from that quarter system, but I didn't love the whole quarter system. So what I like from the quarter system is that the quarters kind of align with the seasons, and I do want to eat seasonally because how much we spend is something that's important to me. And so what I would like to get our monthly budget to is $600 a month, um, which is, I think that's a pretty good number. I really don't know. If you guys feel comfortable, let me know how much money you spend a month on groceries. But that's kind of what I've been working towards over the last 3 months is this $600 mark. And what I was doing was basically having my dinners be $75 a week. Like I'm like, if I can cook 6 to 7 dinners each week and only spend $75 a week, I have about $25. If I take up to 100, I have about $25 that I can spend on like lunchy type things. Then I have another $25 that I can spend on breakfasty and snack things. That was the thinking that I had in mind, which is the reason why I was just like, okay, just make $75 a week in dinners the goal. And overall, I'm able to hit that even with us eating some of the foods that we prefer, not even, but also with us eating the foods that we prefer, which is something that was really important before I started to like change out brands, or before I changed out portion, or before I changed out like, you know how like sometimes it's like, oh, well, we'll just add a vegetarian night to fix the budget. It's like before I did that, I wanted to see if we ate, excuse me, exactly what we wanted to eat, could we eat for about now, a lot of these dinners were the dinners that I made through the winter. And I don't know how that's going to change come spring and especially come summer. The apartment that we have right now does not have central air, and that's something to take into consideration. Like, I adore this apartment, but I was very hot last year. And last year, we ate a lot of salads and we ate a lot of cold foods just because we didn't want to cook in the kitchen because it was so hot in here. And now that we have a baby in here, that's something to be much more conscious of. And so, this next quarter, we have April, May, June, and it doesn't really start getting super hot here until about late May, early June. So I basically have the next 6 to 8 weeks to have like those like savory like dishes where I was like making meatloaf and stew and different things like that that we really love. Now, I don't know if those will transition well into second quarter. Oh, uh-oh. Definitely leaking. I don't know if those will transition well into second quarter because again, it's going to be hotter. So that's also something to take into consideration. But overall, one factor impacting the meal plan is sticking within the $600, which I did really, really good. Sometimes I was even under that, which makes me feel good. And that's $600 including water, which I think is very important because water is almost like 80 bucks, which I think I might take water out and just let this be $600 worth of food. And what I mean by that is, um, I'm a bit of a water snob, I'm going to be honest. And I know I could do tap water. I know I could do filter water. I know I could get a Brita. I know I could do all of these things. And I've done all these things. And I don't love the water. And it's like, it's a little luxury. And it's a relatively inexpensive thing. And I rather spend the money on the water that I know that I'm going to drink as opposed to trying to conserve or trying to save money in that area and knowing that I'm not going to drink the water, especially with me breastfeeding. Like there is like, I need to drink so much water, and I'm not even buying the water that I love and adore, which is Aquapana, which that's like my fun water. But I like Ice Mountain water. And so, but it's about 80 bucks a week because, I mean, not a week, excuse me, 80 bucks a month because we were getting maybe like 3 to 4 a week, and I think it's like 40 bottles, I think. And we're having like 3 to 4 in a week's time. I was able to get us down to maybe like 2 or 3, but each of them are about $8.50, $9. let's say with delivery fees and all the other stuff, we round it up to 10. So if I'm getting 8 a month, which is 2 a week, that's about 80 bucks. And out of my $600, that leaves me with $520 for food. And so I think what I'm going to do, even though water is technically food, when I'm saying this $600, I mean this exclusively for like food, not for water, because I feel like the water is like the thing that I want. No, actually, now that I said that out loud, it's our grocery budget. That is a part of our grocery. Nope. So then does that mean I raise it to 680? Because my heart of hearts, I wanted to spend 600 on food. See, this is why I do this live, because now I'm hearing myself say it. I think I'm gonna take it to 680 if it's 80 bucks in water. And so then that way I know that let me just put that here, because that's something that I want to think about. I want to think about the fact that I'm spending $80 a month on water, and I don't want it to be this invisible expense that I'm not thinking about, because that is a considerable amount of money. And yeah, that's how I want it to be, about 600 a month, just 150 each week. Yeah. Which is closer to $700. Again, if you feel comfortable sharing your number, I would love to know. About to prep my turkey meatballs, broccoli, green beans, sweet potatoes, and protein shake for the week. Have a good day, Stacey and fam. Thank you. Lizette said 800 and sometimes 1200 with toiletries for 3 adults. We're trying Good Chop for the first time because their meat prices are a lot. Yeah. Okay, so 800. Okay. So you're doing 800 for 3 adults. Do you feel like every adult is getting their preferred food item, or do you feel the crunch, or do you feel like you're what's the word I'm looking for? Do you feel like you're being frugal in that 800, or do you feel like you're being generous in that 800? And I'm just curious because I'm trying to get a gauge. Like, I don't know how much we're supposed to be spending on one, like when it's just me, like, right, like I went from being super conservative to being able to do whatever I want, to now wanting to be conservative because we have other financial goals and things. And I've learned that the more conservative I am in my budget, the more creative I am in my food and stuff. So yeah, I like the way of thinking of it. I'm working on setting food budget. It's so hard. As a foodie, it's incredibly hard. 500 a month, including non-food for 5 of us, 2 adults, 3 kids. Rachel Day, how do you do this? How? What are you got? Can you tell me like, what are your 3 main dinners that you all are eating? Because that's the other thing too. When I'm cooking, I haven't tried to do this. Well, technically I have. Trying to prepare enough of a portion so that way we have dinner and we have lunch, or we have dinner and leftovers for the next day. But Rachel, 500 a month, including non-food, five of us, 2 adults, 3 kids. Please tell me your secrets, because I am at 680, including water. So 600. It feels so terrible to say 680. Let's see, 800 a month for 1 adult and 2 kids. Okay, so that's like that 300, that 3. So it's almost like it's 3 persons. So here's the thing, even though kiddos, I really hope that you guys couldn't see my boobie there. But here's the thing with, I don't want her to get too hot. Here's the thing with like kiddos versus adults. I do think that there is a difference, but I don't think that there is a difference in the like bottom line in terms of overall how much you spend. Like, yeah, adults, you would think they eat more, but I think because of the snacks and things that kiddos need, it ends up being the same. Like, right? Like whether you're feeding adults or you're feeding kiddos, I don't know. 1 adult, $30 to $60 a week. 800 is frugal, not like much variety. It goes on holidays, birthdays, and my small celebration. Okay, yeah. Okay, I was thinking. Okay, so I wonder, and especially with people talking about like the prices of groceries and things like that, I try to stay out of those conversations because I want to keep a very abundant mindset around it. But yeah, just in terms of our financial goals and things like that, I just want to keep the number what I think is conservative. This is what I'm thinking. I feel like I'm leaked a little bit. I just don't want her to get hot. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm trying to see if I can find something else here to throw over her without her getting too hot, but also sort of hiding my boobies. Okay. Yes, it's much more. And I don't have her blanket near me. There we go. There we go. It's mostly just to cover up me. Okay. There we go. Okay. I had a thought. Let's see. I'll read this, see if my thought comes back to me. We have tacos of some sort once a week. We have pasta of some sort once a week. In the winter, probably fried chicken for the third. In the summer, apparently burgers for the third. Okay, okay. I think we have to also consider areas too. I know Seattle prices are very high. Yeah, I live in Chicago, like in the city. And so, yeah, have to remember that my prices are going to be a little more. I do go to the pantry some of the times. Don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. They don't judge. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For us, a deep freezer is key. I shop sales and stock up. And I could get better about that. That hasn't been something that I made a priority of. Like to like I've when I catch them, but I have not made a priority to catch them, if that makes sense. And we don't have a deep freezer. Again, we're such a small family. I don't want to go there, but yeah, that's so true. My sales tax is 7%. I think our sales tax is 10.5. So yeah. And we eat pretty well, meaning I still am able to eat my preferred foods and feed my kids quality foods that make sense. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing that we're going for. Is I want to be able to eat very high quality foods and my preferred foods within this $600 budget. And so that's why, like, even with the $80 on water, that's very preferential. Like, I understand I could just do tap water filtered, but I don't want to. Um, my mom and grandmother are single people. They have deep freezers. Oh, no, no, no. I'm pretty sure we could do a deep freezer. I just don't want to get into it. Like, there was in another video I mentioned, and I didn't realize this until I was shopping for the whole family, is I actually get very overwhelmed when there is like a ton of options. And I didn't know that. I thought that I just before wasn't buying a whole bunch of stuff because I couldn't afford it. But then when I finally could afford to buy whatever I wanted, I realized that I don't like the visual of having like this overabundance of stuff, and then it's like it's over with, as opposed to it being like, ooh, look at all these things I can do. It's like that I have to do something with, and it makes me feel guilty. Like if I have a deep freezer full of food and we want to go out to eat, I feel really guilty, and I'm like, no, I don't want to feel that way. So because I think my aunt, she's a single person. I believe she has a deep freezer as well. So I'm listening so I can reset my grocery budget. Yeah, so that's what we're focusing on. Okay, so number one, my number one priority. So if you're following along, we're going through the 4 core foundations of homemaking. Right now we're on food. We have to figure out what the parameters are that we're using to establish our grocery budget meal planning. And my number one priority is to stay within $600 worth of food. That's my number one priority. And it's probably, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I hate this 680 number. I really hate it. I'm probably, the real truth is to stay within 520 so that the total is 600. Let me write that down because that's my actual truth. And that's probably what I'm going to reach for. I'll have to go back and do the numbers over the last 3 months, but it's really 520 and then that $80 for water. That's my truth. My truth is I don't want to spend more than $600 a month on food, water, and all of the things that we want. So that's one of my parameters. My next parameter is from a nutritional perspective. I need to eat for the calories of being a feeding her, nursing her. And I'm not exercising yet this quarter. I don't anticipate starting to exercise until June. So I don't need that extra boost of like nursing her food and food so that I can exercise, but I do need to have, my diet has to have enough snacks, meals, and like nutrient rich foods in order for me to, in a very healthy way, produce all of her meals, because she is 100% breastfed, and she typically is on breast like 95% of the time, as opposed to like me pumping and then her having a bottle. So I need the ability to be able to create the food from the nutrition that I'm putting in my body, but I also need food to sustain me energetically, because I'm having someone constantly like touching me and consuming from me. And that's something that's really important, because she is still on a every 2 to 3 hour schedule. We just had our checkup, and the doctor said they want to keep her on the 2 to 3 hour schedule. That impacts me dramatically. And so my second thing after the total $600 budget is nutrient rich and dense foods are a priority. And so in that regard, like, we're not, I would love to be a snack person, just like regular old, just Doritos and stuff like that, but that doesn't serve me with respect to breastfeeding. And then when I am getting nutrient rich or nutrient dense food, I do find that there's a little bit more of a higher price tag, because sometimes they have extra protein in it, or, you know, just different things like that. So that's worth mentioning, that that's also impacting our food budget. Um, let's see. What time zone are you in? Oh, wait, hold on. Bunny Banks said, I want to be better about this. I feel the constraints currently, we don't really get our preferred foods. One adult and one teen. I have chronic health challenges, so trying to eat high quality foods. Okay, so then maybe your first priority is to like take these next 3 months to figure out like, or unless you already know, but to figure out the foods that make your body feel better even with this chronic health condition, so that that way you can prioritize them. So like, say for example, like, so for example with me, like, I'm a beef person. When I eat beef, I feel 1,000 times better. Most medical whatever people at me, no. Beef, yes to beef. My body is like, if you feed me chicken, we will starve. Any poultry, I never get the nutrition. My body does not know how to extract the nutrition from it. But if you think about it, if you are trying to conserve in your budget, and the most inexpensive protein that's supposed to be healthy and lean is chicken, if I wasn't thinking about actually how my body responds to the protein, I would be buying a ton of chicken instead of figuring out a way to prioritize the beef. So I would say like one of your constraints or one of your factors in your meal planning is to prioritize the foods that make your chronic health condition more easeful. And then after that, trying to be like frugal about it, because it doesn't make sense to be frugal and eat the foods that are going to worsen your health condition, because you're still going to end up having like the challenges, right? Let's see. I totally get what you're saying. Like, yes. What time zone are you in? I'm Eastern. It's almost 6 here, but I already ate. It's 5 here. Central. I'm Central time. Love these lives. Do you do them monthly? This is my first time. I just really needed to talk out loud about what I had done over the last 3 months, so that that way, as I'm going into this next quarter, I can go into it with a little bit more insight. There's no intention really to do it regularly, possibly, I don't know, but it's just, this was just to help me to process. Do you ladies think Costco is worth it? I'm on the fence. Never have I gotten into been considered for the last month or so. So I do get a few things from Costco, but it's because, again, my nutrient rich dense foods are important to me. And Costco has grass-fed butter and grass-fed beef that my body loves, and it just makes more sense to just go ahead and pay for it. But those are the only things that I get from Costco, so I'm not like a full-blown Costco person. I probably could get into their nuts and seeds, because I do eat a lot of those, which I will be consuming more of those this coming season. But it's been worth it for me, because we do get bottled water, and we get our grass-fed patties and some of our grass-fed beef from there. What kind of water do you buy? I buy Ice Mountain for now. Um, or is it Mountain Valley? No. It's Ice Mountain. But my preferred is Aquapana, in the glass bottles too. I haven't tried Misfits vegetables. So I was gonna do subscriptions, but I'm gonna wait until we really figure out our palette before we go into subscriptions. Um, because I want to make sure like whatever we're getting in the subscriptions, they make sense for us. Okay, so you guys are responding to the Costco thing. Okay, so that's my second lever. My third thing is variety. That's going to be the third thing that's important to me. And the reason why I say that is because I was lightly following the quarter system of this one homemaker. I find that S has gotten tired of the foods that we have been eating in this quarter, which tells me that he's not going to be as delighted about eating them in the next quarter, which, like, because I want to be the best homemaker in all the land, that matters to me. Like, I want him to always want my food. And so variety is going to be something that's important moving into this next. So even though there are like a few staple meals that I really, really enjoy because he's getting tired of them, I'm also in the space where I'm going to add a new recipe, 1 or 2 recipes a week to try to like shake things up and give us something a little bit more interesting. And those are the 3 things that I'm taking into consideration: staying within that $600, nutrient rich dense foods, and variety. So when I'm doing the meal planning, it makes sense for me to do my dinners first and then go back, typically because breakfast we kind of eat the same thing, and we're okay with the repetition in breakfast, but dinner is where we really want to get the variety. um I haven't Shay's place. I haven't explained how I'm about to go into it now. I haven't explained how I rotate the meals because it wasn't necessarily a rotation. It was my goal for first quarter was to find 10, like 7 to 10 meals that we loved and then just scramble them and just just scramble them. And so I was able to do that by trying recipes. So what I found is a meatloaf recipe that we love. I found an Italian sausage bake recipe that we loved. We really enjoyed the spaghetti too, but I just haven't found a pasta that doesn't give me a headache. And then I felt like there was one more recipe. It was meatloaf, Italian bake, spaghetti. Oh, and a beef stew recipe. So I found 4 recipes that I added to just the regular stuff that I was cooking before. Um, yeah. So now I need to find more, and I need to find more because the temperature is changing and I won't be able to be in the kitchen cooking as long. I won't be able to be in the kitchen cooking as long. Okay, so when I'm planning meal planning, I like to think about just the week. And so this is the last week in March, I believe. I should have pulled my calendar up. This is the last week in March. And so essentially this will be what I order for groceries for uh-oh, did I wake you up, mamas? What I order for groceries for April. Would we have 6 days? Yeah, we got 2, 4, 7 days. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be what I order for April. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I tried the day of the week tells me what to eat. That did not work for me. Like how when people are like, oh, Taco Tuesday, Friday, Italian, whatever, that didn't work for me. So my rotation needs to be a little bit more of like, these are just 7 meals and then I'll plug and play them into the things. So April, so I'm just going to think of those 7 meals. I'm going to write those here. So April, I'm going to make a beef stew. I know you probably don't want it, but it's hearty and I love it. So we're going to do a beef stew. On the days that Shankees has chicken, I try to do a fish that he doesn't like, but every time I try to pick a fish that he doesn't like, he likes seafood, and I need to understand that he just likes seafood too. So I need to double up on the seafood thing, because last time I did chicken and ahi tuna, when I tell you that ahi tuna was the most amazing ahi tuna I have ever tasted that was prepared at home. Now, I have tasted some delicious ahi tuna cooked in a restaurant, but ahi tuna prepared at home, I didn't even know it could taste that good. Like, I seasoned it with everything but the bagel seasoning. Phenomenal. It was seared medium rare to perfection. One of them was a little bit overdone because it was just a little bit larger, but oh my goodness, it was incredible. Incredible. So good I didn't give Shankees any. But he really wanted to try it. So I did get ahi tuna this time, but I'm gonna have that for one of the dinner days. It's ahi tuna. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So we have beef stew, chicken. His chicken day is just gonna be my veggie day, where I have like a veggie bowl or something like that, because every time I try to do like a fish or something, he just wants that, and then I end up having to make so much more food than what I want to make. Um, yeah, I have about 12 solid meals that my boys enjoy and never get tired of. Yes. And I think that that's one of the things that like just has to be there. And something else, and I think it was in Maddie James' philosophy, and I keep calling her this homemaker because I can't remember what her name is. But one of the other things that her philosophy was just like protein and then rotate starch and veggie. But S and I don't really love the same protein. So even if, so like for example, like I could eat steak every day. He can't eat steak every day. And on the days that I have steak, I don't really want to feed him chicken because I feel like, I feel like I want my man to have a piece of steak. So it's like we're not necessarily in a place where it can just be like this is the protein, rotate everything else, because we just don't eat enough of the same proteins. And I guess that that's a restriction for me too, is because I don't do poultry, and poultry is the most inexpensive protein that you can probably get. Maybe pork is cheaper. I'm not 100% for sure. That does limit my budget in a little bit, but a little bit as well. But okay, beef stew, chicken, veggies. We're gonna do this week. We're gonna skip the Italian bake. Well, we'll skip the Italian bake this week, and I'll do it for the one, because I think he was getting a little tired of it. We love it. It's like this Italian sausage one pan meal with peppers. Love it, love it, love it. So that's for beef stew, chicken, ahi tuna, Italian sausage bake. We'll do some sort of ribs, either country ribs or baby back ribs. I found a really good recipe that we can just put in the oven for the baby back ribs, and a really good recipe that we can just throw in the air fryer for the country ribs, and a really good recipe we can throw in the oven for the country ribs too. But they've been really good in the air fryer lately. What else? I need 2 more meals: beef stew, ahi tuna, Italian ribs. What else? What else? What else? What else? I should have a list in front of me. I know I have a list somewhere, but I don't remember where it's at. Um, mm, mm, mm. I typically shop at Aldi's. That's where I've been shopping lately. We've been trying to transition over to Aldi's. Aldi's has done really good. There's some of their store brand foods that I don't enjoy, because right now I'm getting most of my groceries through Instacart, which isn't necessarily my preference, but I just don't have the physicality to go into the grocery store, or the time, because again, I'm nursing every 2 to 3 hours. And so trying to go to the grocery store and then also get home and meal prep, there's just not enough time to do it. I don't have my favorite recipes on my website, but I guess I can put those up at a favorite recipe to website. I think we'll do some taco salad, and then I need one more. I really want something I can put in the crock pot. That's what I'll do. My 7th one will be a crock pot recipe. Okay, so those are my 7. So for the first week, I have beef stew, chicken, ahi tuna, Italian bake, ribs, taco, and I'm gonna find a crock pot recipe. Then I can go into week 2. And I'm only going to go into week 2 because I don't know how to meal plan for the whole month as it stands right now, but I'm going to do that just so I can think through, in terms of the groceries that I'm going to order. Week 2 will be the 2nd week of April. Easter. Okay, so that is the 8th to the 15th. Beef short ribs in the crock pot. Oh, okay. Beef short ribs. We have not made that. Does it come out tasting a lot like beef stew? The beef short ribs? I wonder. And you guys can throw, if yeah, everybody put up their like top 2 favorite meals. So then that way we can get some meal ideas as well. Whether they're crock pot or you got to cook them from scratch or however, just what are your top 2? My top 2 right now would be the meatloaf I've been making and then the Italian sausage bake. Is so good. Okay, it's much more tender than stew. Okay, all right. Okay, so that second week, we're gonna repeat that Italian sausage bake. I know that for sure. We will repeat the country ribs. I need some beef, so we'll do a steak. Do another crock pot recipe. And I'm doing that because I know as we move into the summer, we're gonna need to use the crock pot and the air fryer over the oven and the stove. So it'll be good if I can think through some crock pot recipes that are really, really good. What else can we do? We'll do a meatloaf. We'll do salmon. And then we need one more. Pork chops. Okay, so those will be my dinners for the next 2 weeks. And that feels really good. That feels really good. Enough variety because we're only repeating the ribs and the Italian sausage bake. And then everything else is different. So there won't be monotony. And I like to plan for 7 days, even though sometimes like we'll have a leftover day or, you know, maybe we might go out to eat or something like that. I still like to plan and have in the refrigerator everything that I need for the 7 days. I have to head out, but I enjoyed this live. Happy grocery shopping and continue to enjoy that. Precious baby, I will watch the replay if you leave it up there. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you enjoyed it. This is, again, just my out loud thoughts. Like, I'll probably leave it up just because you guys seem to enjoy it, but I'm just really also trying to just process this out loud. Rice and beans, salad and beans, pasta, salmon salad, winter roasted veggies, and chicken also oven roasted. Nice. Nice. We really like rice and beans too, which I'm really grateful that Sean Keys likes beans as much as I do. I usually just make a pot of beans at the beginning of the week and we just kind of snack on that throughout the week just as like a filler food. So what I also know for sure about each of these 7 meals is that my total cost for the protein only for each of these 7 meals in each of these weeks, it ranges somewhere between $50 to $60. And then I have the other $15 left over that I can use for the produce, which I've been doing really good in getting produce from High Park Produce for that amount for the entire week. So for example, with the beef stew, the other things that I would need are carrots and potatoes. And I know a bag of potatoes that I usually get the yellow potatoes, which those are the potatoes because russet potatoes, my body doesn't feel good when I have those. Red potatoes, my body is like meh, but the yellow potatoes, my body digests those very well. I know a bag of those is $4 and it's 2 different sides. Like I can do it with the beef stew and then maybe I can make like some mashed potatoes with the ribs or something like that. So I know that that is $4 for 2 of the 7 meals. I already know that because I've tracked all of that data from last week. And then in terms of my vegetables, right now I'm doing frozen because it's too hard to do the prep of fresh vegetables because again, I'm postpartum. I guess I need to put that in there too. That is affecting the budget. I am postpartum. So I'm doing frozen to make sure that we're getting the vegetables. If I happen to go to High Park Produce and pick up some fresh produce, I will eat it, but I plan for frozen, and most of the frozen bags are about $1. So I know for this, it's about $14 for both or $7 each week. And then in addition to having the bags of potatoes, so let's just say I do 2 bags of potatoes and I do the frozen vegetables. So that's $7 for veggies and then $8 for the potatoes. That's about $15 for both of those. The only other thing that's missing in order to complete these dinners are like some seasonings. So like broth or Worcestershire or garlic powder or something like that. And that kind of comes out of just the overall budget, but still I'm hitting that $75. I'm hoping that that math makes sense. Maybe next time I do this, I might do like a green screen or something like that. So I feel really good about both of these weeks and the sides that go with them and the additional things that I would need to buy. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So sometimes if we're not having the yellow potatoes, we'll have sweet potatoes. If we're not having sweet potatoes, then we'll have rice. And when Shanquise has rice, I have quinoa. I am going to try another rice because I don't have the cookbook in front of me. No, I'm going to try another rice because I am learning a rice recipe from the Gullah Geechee book that I recently got from the library, and then my aunt bought it for me. She has a red rice in there, she has a dirty rice in there, and she has another form of rice in there. And when I eat those foods, I feel amazing because they connect me to my family and to my home. And I think my ability to digest rice is less about I can't have any rice and more about it depends on how the rice is prepared. Because when I eat it when I'm at home, I feel fine. But when I eat it and it's just prepared like a white rice, it doesn't feel good. So I don't know if I need a different brand, if I need a different type. So that's also something that I'm going to be experimenting with because I want to make her red rice. I want to make her dirty rice because I want those to be sides. So sometimes when we're not having potatoes or sweet potatoes, we will have rice or slash quinoa as a side. And then trying to think, those are kind of like the three starchy sides that we rotate. Let me write those down. Rice, quinoa, potatoes, yellow, and then sweet potatoes. And then for veggies, we experimented with the veggies. Shanquise loves a mixed vegetable. I do not enjoy the mixed vegetables. He loves the mixed veggie. I love corn. And then we both like the French style green beans. We also really like Brussels sprouts, but I don't like Brussels sprouts frozen. So I haven't been preparing those. But I'm just gonna do mixed greens, corn, and French green beans because we're still using frozen for right now. I still make your red beans and rice that you shared years ago. I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Burrito bowls, Buddha bowls, prep the ingredients. Yes. So that's something that I'm going to put on here for lunches are the Buddha bowls. Yeah, hand model in the making. Yeah, she just discovered her hands. So she's like every time she's like looking at it, I love it. Okay, so that's dinner. We have our rice, quinoa, potatoes, sweet potatoes, mixed veggies, corn, and French green beans. We eat a lot of avocados and raw local honey. I'm asthmatic and I find that the local honey with local pollen really helps my allergies. Oh, I never thought about it from that perspective, but that makes 1,000% sense. That makes so much sense. Never in a million years would I have thought of that. Have you tried sheet pan veggies? I haven't, but I will try that. You know, one of these, I think I'm gonna do, that's another recipe that I'm gonna look up. A sheet pan recipe because I want to try 2 recipes each week. So maybe I'll do a sheet pan recipe for lunch. Yeah, that's what I'll do for lunch. Okay, I'll remember that for lunch. But this is gonna be dinner, and I feel solid about dinner. And I'm gonna plug that into a calendar when we get off the line. But I love that idea of eating local honey because it is the local pollen. We don't eat avocados because my body doesn't like avocados. I don't even know how Shanquise feels about avocados. When we have foods that you can add avocado to, he never adds avocado, so I don't think he likes avocado either. It'll be interesting to see if Little Miss likes avocado. She has a cream that has avocado in it, and it seems to work like in moderation. Like if I put a lot on it on her skin will get a little bit tight. So I don't know if that's the avocado or if it's something else that's in the cream. But yeah, I don't do avocado very much. Okay, so we have dinner. So next thing is we have lunch. And so for lunch, every month I get a pack of the patties from Costco. I usually actually end up getting 2 packs, and it's 15 patties in each. So that's basically like 7 lunches a lunch for Shanquise, a lunch for me, a burger for him, a burger for me. So that's 7 lunches, and I spread that out over 2 weeks. So 1 week it'll be 3 burgers, and then the other week it'll be maybe 3 or 4 burgers. I'm hoping that that math makes sense. So I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm just gonna put the hamburger, cheeseburger on 3 slots because I just already know that that's gonna be there. And what I've found is that our hamburger is the equivalent of other people's like sandwich. You know how people are like, oh, I'm just gonna make a turkey sandwich, or I'm just gonna make a ham sandwich or whatever. Because I don't eat poultry, I don't want a turkey sandwich. I could do a roast beef sandwich, which maybe I'll put that on here. But we love those grass-fed burgers. It's a good way for me to get like great nutrition. And sometimes I make sweet potato fries. Sometimes we do the bag of fries. But it just really works. So if I get 1 pack, and 1 pack I think is like $30. So it's basically $15 each week out of my lunch budget, which is about $25 total. And then I can take the other portion of the lunch budget and get like the buns and things like that. But the burgers are really good. They're grass-fed. They make me feel amazing every single time. So the other thing that I'm going to add to this lunch is a sheet pan. I'm going to do 1 in week 1 and then another one in week 2. Some sheet pan recipe because I want to remind myself to look up a sheet pan recipe that we can do. The Italian sausage bake is basically a sheet pan recipe, but we really love that for dinner, and I want to find some additional ones. I don't eat a lot of dairy, so grilled cheese is not common. It could be something, but when I eat dairy, it just really messes with my skin. I need to eat dairy to support her. So when I do, I try to get it in like either something that like I really love, because like just imagine, so like when I eat dairy, my face reacts, and it's not like I'll get pimples. It'll just get very dry and like scaly and peely. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to wrap this up so that way she's not bothering you guys in the background. But my skin will get very scaly and peely. So because I know that that's what dairy does, I try to only have it in things where it's absolutely necessary. And you guys know that I'm trying to find my favorite cookie recipe, and I'm baking and all that other stuff. So I use dairy in my baking. So like buttermilk biscuits, buttermilk pancakes, cake, cookies, etc. And then the other way that I get dairy in, which is kind of like a cheat, is in my ice cream. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna have this and I know it's gonna not do my skin well, I'm at least gonna have it in a form that is a treat. So I say that to say that's the reason why grilled cheese isn't something that's on there. I actually really do enjoy grilled cheese, but it's like if I'm gonna use my dairy token, I'm gonna use it for some ice cream, or I'm gonna use it for me to keep experimenting with all the sweet treats and baking that I'm doing. I did a grilled peanut butter and berry preserves. That was pretty good. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Sounds delicious. I actually do like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't know if there's enough nutrition in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I'm just gonna put it on here and see PB&J and see how I can make it more nutritious. Because we both have like a peanut butter that we love. And what if like the PB&J was nutritious enough to be a full proper lunch? Like, what if it was like a sandwich and soup, or sandwich and salad, or something like that? Like, what if I did some sort of combo? Yes, definitely smoothies when it gets warmer is the main like go-to for sure. So we still have a couple of those like, you know, spring days where it's like it's cold, but it's not freezing and it's not super hot. So like we're still like transitioning. But yes, smoothies and protein shakes. Like for my breakfast, like every other breakfast, maybe every 2 or 3 days, I'll do a protein shake just to make sure that I'm getting enough proteins. We modified it by making a at-home almond butter and a berry jelly on an English muffin. Almond butter and preserves on healthy-ish bread. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I need 2 more lunches. So we have hamburger, sheet pan, PB&J's. We'll do pizza. We'll do pizza. And then, oh, you know what? I actually want to, for one of these dinners, Shanquise really likes that orange chicken from Trader Joe's. I wanted to put that on here. Maybe on my steak days I'll do, well, no, I really don't. I try to feed him steak when I have steak, but you just gonna have that on that steak day, orange chicken, because I want to make sure I get that. And then we'll do pizza. That's another way that I get my dairy in, is through pizza, even though the pizza that I get is very healthy because it's like a goat cheese pizza. And then we can add that lasagna, but I don't want to do lasagna 2 weeks in a row. I need one more lunch. What's something else we could do for lunch? What about burritos? You know, that's what it was, a Buddha bowl. Thank you. Thank you. And this is why we do it live, because you forget what you said and then you're like, I don't know what to do. I wonder what soup would go with PB&J's, like a grilled cheese and tomato soup. Oh, that would be interesting. Let me add that, PB&J plus soup. And then that way it'll give me a prompt to try to find a really good soup to go with a PB&J, because I agree, grilled cheese and tomato soup is amazing together. Quesadilla only because of the cheese. Otherwise, I totally would do the quesadilla. Ceviche for lunch, yes, but from a prep perspective and just being mindful of like nursing and stuff like that, I want to be mindful of like some of the fish that I'm intaking. And I understand that with ceviche, the lime is cooking the fish, but I kind of want to be mindful just because I'm nursing. Hot dogs and beef sandwiches leftover. Mama, can we get to breakfast? Can we get to breakfast? And then mommy will be all done talking. How do I shush you? And I'm over here doing all this talking, huh? It's a double standard. I know. Let me see. Let me get that little. It's a bit of a double standard. It's not a bit. It is a total double standard. But here we go. Okay, so let's go to breakfast and then I will leave you. You know, I don't like curry. I don't eat chicken and I don't like curry. But and ceviche, I do actually love ceviche. There's a restaurant here that makes amazing ceviche, but I'm just staying away from the raw-ish fish for now while I'm nursing. Oh, and sauteed it. Oh, I never thought about that. Okay. Baby girl just want to make sure that they understand that she's here. We hear you, baby girl. Yeah, she's like, I'm here. She is meal planning too. Yes, because she knows she gonna get all of this too. And it's interesting because sometimes depending on what I eat, she responds to what I eat as well, which makes it easier for me to know what to put in rotation. And literally anytime we have beef, it's a good day for her. If we have beef, she's good. But I think it's because when I have beef, I feel so good. Okay, so let's do breakfast. And again, I'm just making this very simple by meal prepping for all the, meal planning for all the days. And I'm doing it for 2 weeks. Because if I know that there's something that's supposed to go there, it's better to know that there's something that's supposed to go there than to not. Have you tried dairy-free cheese? Yes. So all of the dairy-free, let me not say all. Most of the dairy-free cheeses, my body absolutely detests. When I tell you, if my pores could vomit, they would. Like, and here's the thing, it tastes good to my tongue. And the texture sometimes is a little off, but it tastes good to my tongue. But there was this cheddar cheese that I was like, I thought someone was ripping my insides out. Like, I was like, what in the world is happening to me? So then I tried mozzarella. Same thing. I tried a cream cheese. Same thing. I said, you know, the thing that all this has in common is it is dairy free. Like, it just, my body is like, absolutely not. And the butter, like the Mykonos butter, I adore the flavors. I might not be pronouncing that right. I adore the flavors of that butter. Cannot stomach it. Cannot stomach. Like I can have it once and that's it. But if I try it like day after, absolutely not. There is a dairy-free butter that I made from this girl on TikTok, which I really like. You use nutritional yeast and coconut oil, which I don't really love coconut oil. Okay, okay. Let's see. But yeah, so that's the only reason I don't do the dairy free. I try to do things that are lactose free. I don't know if it is the lactose or if it is something else in the dairy that causes the reaction in my face. But I do try to do things that have a lower lactose or are lactose free just naturally. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I hear that goat cheese and Parmesan cheese are more lactose free than, or not lactose free, lactose less maybe. But I'm not 100% for sure. Don't quote me on that. But I do try those. Yes, I will make granola. So as we're going into breakfast, that's what we're about to do now. Just had to get her little scarf situated back there. There we go. Okay, so breakfast. So for breakfast, I actually have like a first breakfast and a second breakfast. Got to run, but what an absolute treat to get a quick connect. Yay. Peas when coaching comes open again. I'm in all in. Absolutely, absolutely. Annabelle, Stacey, it could be the enzymes they use in the cheese that affect you since you tried the dairy. Yeah, it could, like, it's something, because every single time, like, my body, like, it's like I can feel my digestion and my cells like fighting for their life when I have dairy-free cheese. It is just not a good thing at all. Okay, so for breakfast, as I was saying, I have first breakfast and second breakfast. So she is on, which I had mentioned this early, this is one of the factors impacting my meal planning. She eats every 2 to 3 hours. Our schedule is essentially 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. So she will eat overnight, midnight, at 3 a.m. and about 6. Typically when she eats at 6, I just get up and I'll take like my vitamins and stuff like that. And at that time, I like to do first breakfast. And first breakfast is either granola or cereal. I did try some yogurts, which the yogurts made me feel really, really good. It was like 15 grams of protein in it. So I probably will do those yogurts again. Maybe I'll make like a parfait or something, but I like to do granola or cereal or something really, really, when I say quick, like really, 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 really quick, because it's like a brief window between when she actually wakes up for the day. Like after her last feeding, she'll like go back to sleep, but then she'll kind of like wake up for the day. So that's first breakfast. And then second breakfast is the breakfast that I have when I cook a meal for Shanquise and I. So there's like sausage, eggs, grits, or bacon, biscuits, stuff like that. That said, as you guys see me writing this down, that's why that's there, because I have first breakfast by myself and then I'll have second breakfast with Shanti. Let's see. Protein pancakes are delicious. 2 eggs, 1 cottage cheese, 1 cup of flour. I'll have to try it. I have not found a good protein pancake recipe yet. It just tastes like protein, and I don't like it. And I don't like vanilla. That's the thing. I don't like vanilla protein. And I haven't found a protein that, like, and a chocolate pancake just doesn't sound appealing to me. But maybe I can try a chocolate pancake. But I just have not. And I really want to like protein pancakes, because that's one of the things that I need in terms of nutrition, is just really good protein. I had the same experience with the I don't know how to pronounce it. The Daya, I don't know. It's how you pronounce Daya dairy-free products. Violife has been very kind to my digestive system. Okay. The Cozy Mom Chronicles. Could you do yogurt instead of cottage cheese? How about chia pudding with nut butter and jelly? I don't know if I like chia pudding. And the only reason why I say I don't know is because every time there's an option to get chia pudding, I don't take it. But I can't recall ever tasting chia pudding. I don't know if it's what it looks like makes me not think I'm gonna enjoy the texture. And what I mean by that is, like, in general, like yogurts, puddings, custards, creme brulees, stuff like that. I don't like that texture. And I think when I see chia pudding, it looks like that stuff. And so I haven't ever tried it to not like it, but I think that they're just, chia pudding is guilty by the associations that I make with it being a custard-like thing. So I haven't had it. But let me write these in here. So every day I will either have granola or cereal. So I'm just gonna write G or C right here for my first breakfast. Okay, G or C for my first breakfast. And then for second breakfast, we will have grits. S will have eggs. We'll have some sort of sausage or bacon. And then we'll have like toast or biscuit. And then we also always have fruit when we have that breakfast. And then what I want to try to make are Saturdays and Sundays are like pancake days or something like that. Like maybe Sunday is biscuits and gravy, and that's what it'll be. Yep. Sunday is biscuits and gravy. Because I'm gonna, this week and next week, I want to try biscuit and gravy recipes until I have mastered a biscuit and gravy, and then Saturdays will be pancake days. I actually really, really like pancakes. So I could do it more, but just in terms of my capacity to be in the kitchen making pancakes, I don't have the capacity. But I think just as like a cute family tradition, please do a live on the granola. Oh, that would be fun, like to cook the granola live with you guys. Okay. Yay, that would be really fun. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we'll do Saturdays are pancake days, Sundays are biscuit and gravy days, and then all the other days we do grits, eggs, sausage or bacon, toast, and a biscuit and fruit every morning. Like that just is the breakfast. And breakfast, I've been able to keep it within that like $25 to $30 range. Grits are relatively inexpensive. The thing that has kicked it up a little bit, so I may have to increase the budget a little bit, but I'm gonna pay attention to the numbers these next 2 weeks, is because the bacon that I was getting was from Costco, where I could get like a bigger batch of it for a smaller amount. But Shanquise has found this bacon from Trader Joe's that he absolutely adores. And again, it is my priority to feed us our preferred foods before we go frugal, because we don't necessarily need to be frugal right now. It's a nice to, but we don't need to. But I also don't want to be super indulgent because we have financial goals. But because we don't need to, I don't want to take away the little luxuries. And so his bacon that he now loves does kick us up a notch. And then eggs, as you all know, have increased in price. And my lovely S, he got the egg replacement, and he was just like, let's try this egg replacement and see if it works. And he was just like, it looks the same, but it don't taste the same. So I'll see if I can doctor up the egg replacement a little bit better because it's still in there. And maybe sometimes he'll have the egg replacement, or maybe I'll mix one egg with a little bit of egg replacement. But I appreciate him noticing that, like, I'm trying to be mindful of our food budget. And then him being like, well, since eggs are so expensive, like, let's try this. So yeah, so that's breakfast. So what I'm going to do, because I have the next 2 weeks planned, and I feel like I met the variety. Oh, the only other thing that's missing is snacks. And I'm not good at snacks. And this is the reason why. Because I can't have soy. Because soy has a lot of estrogen in it, and it takes me out. So most snacks that are grab and go have some sort of soy in it. I don't prefer to take my dairy in the form of a snack, like yogurt or Swiss cheese or string cheese or whatever, because I don't want my face to break out because I had a snack, right? If I'm going to have a snack, then it's going to be a snack, like ice cream, not string cheese. So there's that. So I can't have soy. I don't like the string cheese. You know, one of these days, I think I'm going to do a tuna salad for lunch, now that I say that. Let me see. What can I replace on here? I don't know, but maybe I'll do that tuna salad and pita chips for a snack. So I'm going to try to think of 4 snacks that I can have. And what I wish the snacks could be is just like a bag of Doritos and like nachos. That's what I wish the snack could be. Like, oh, let's just make some nachos. But again, to do nachos, I have to think about like, is this gonna be my dairy token that I'm gonna use? Am I gonna use my dairy token on these nachos? Because if I do, I just gotta know that it has to be worth it. But nachos sound like amazing. But yeah, what are like the snacks that you guys have in your cabinets? I was gonna try beef jerky, but I can't have the soy, and most of it has the soy mixed in. Smoothie with egg. I'm not for sure what that means. I'm not for sure what that means, the smoothie with eggs. So right now for snacks, I have tuna salad and pita chips. So I'm not doing good at snacks. I mean popcorn, but popcorn is not like a fulfilling snack. Like I need a snack. I'm probably gonna get some of the kind bars. Oh, okay. We're at our wits end. You're at your wits end. Can I have 10 more minutes? 10 more minutes? Okay. Okay, so there's this kind bar that has like 7 grains in it. I can grab that. It's like 7 grains, 9 grams of protein. I'm a popcorn girl too, but it's not a fulfilling snack. Like I want something that's like if you had it, like if you had it between lunch and dinner, you're like, okay, I'm good until dinner time. So we got the kind bars, we got tuna salad and pita chips. What else? What else? Mamas. Okay. Are we done? Are we done? Are we done? Snacks Jackson's sweet potato chips from Costco's. Ingredients are sweet potatoes, avocados. Oh, I can't do the avocado oil, but thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. I do appreciate it. So that is the other thing that makes sometimes grocery shopping hard. Shanquise, as we understand it right now, can eat anything. I don't eat avocado. I can eat it. Like I don't have, and I was saying this before, like I don't have an allergy to anything, but I did the elimination diet. And there are just some things that my body doesn't like. And avocados, when I eat them, I just pass out. Yeah, when I eat them, I just pass out. So I don't eat avocados or things with avocados. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? She has a little scarf on. Want to say hello to the people? She's getting so big and chunky. I love it. What else? I guess I could get some those kettle chips. We really do actually like kettle chips. Let me put those down. See, that would require me to go to a different store, but that's why we're playing now, because then you can think about it. So kettle chips. I wish I could do some kettle chips and dips, but I don't know if I want to risk my dairy there. I'm gonna put ice cream on here. I'm actually gonna put yogurt on here because I felt really good when I ate that yogurt. Okay, all right. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. We're wrapping it up right now. Okay, I appreciate you all for joining me. This was helpful to me for me to be able to talk it out loud. It helped me to be able to understand what are the factors that are impacting my budget. I think the biggest thing that I can take away from today is being conscious about how much my water costs and how much that impacts my budget, and what do I truly want to do about that costs. Do I want to parse it out and think through $600 worth of food product, or do I want to include it and go down to $520 worth of food product? Because it is a pretty big expense for someone who wants to be a little bit more conservative, and is very important to get the nutrient rich foods. So yeah, and I think the other thing of variety is definitely in there, and then I know nutritionally like these things work. So was that you making? Oh yeah, that was her. Say, yeah, that was me making all this noise. You want to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. You gonna look at the camera? I don't know if I can get her to show it. There we go. Can you say bye? She's like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I'm just waking up. I'm just a baby waking up. Yeah, there's your smile. I love you. Okay. All right. I appreciate you all for being here. I don't have a set time for when I'm coming back. I really was just doing this because I needed to talk about my meal planning out loud. So I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.